So, a lot of people have been asking me about my 10-day Vipassana meditation course and how it was and what it entailed. So, I really, I can't like write a Facebook status. It's too much to try and explain through a status. So, I thought I would record something that people could watch because I really didn't feel like writing. So, basically, just about the course structure. So, it was 10 days, and in that 10 days, it was complete silence, what they call noble silence. So not even gesturing or looking at each other, just trying to be completely sort of introverted for 10 days. And it was, so no speaking, only 2 meals a day, which was very tough. No phones, no reading, no writing, no exercise, except for just like walking around mindfully, but no, like, yeah, none of those everyday distractions in life that we are so used to and so dependent on. And on top of that, it entailed waking up at 4 a.m. every day and meditating basically all day. So the maximum you could meditate was like 11 hours in the day. But I mean, goodness, I did not manage that. I sort of did about 6 in a day. I cheated, oops. So like sometimes they'd be like, go meditate in your room, and I was like just sleeping because I was meditating like 6 hours a day, and already that was like huge for me. But yeah, okay, so yeah, wake up at 4, meditate, have breakfast, meditate, lunch, meditate, no dinner, just some fruit, and then have teaching in the evening, and then bed. So, I mean, even without like the deep stuff, on a surface level, it was hell of a hard. Being out of contact, having none of my normal distractions, very, very, very challenging. Now, what did the meditation involve? So, basically, meditation, in case you don't know, it's just a technique to sort of calm and control the mind, and there's loads of different ways of meditating, loads of different techniques. Beautiful thing about meditation is it's completely non-sectarian, so there's no religious belief needed. It's more really like a psychological like technique really than anything else, and it helps to calm your mind and control your mind. And yeah, you can practice meditation that will lead you to a peaceful state or compassionate state or loving kindness. But Vipassana is really more to get you to a state of awareness of what Goenka, who's now the current teacher of Vipassana, would call anicca, which is the awareness that everything is in a constant change of flux. I mean, a constant state of flux and change, and everything is impermanent. That is the reality. And yeah. So, how does it work? The first 3 days of the course, you don't actually do Vipassana meditation. You do another type of meditation called Anapana, which is simply just observing your breath, your respiration. So either like in or out, or you observe sensations in your nose. But that's simply all you're doing, and it's a way of like focusing the mind very sharply to prepare you for the next 7 days, which will be Vipassana meditation, which I'll explain now. Also, the Anapana, you need it because, I mean, never in life will you have sat for like 10 hours a day just sitting in one position. So it's also kind of preparing you just for what's to come. Okay, so those first 2 days were so hard. It was so hard. My mind was all over the place. I had no focus. I was just thinking and planning, and they were the worst 3 days. On day 4, you start the Vipassana technique. So what that involves is basically you have a seated posture, so usually people sit with their legs crossed, upright, back, and you sit usually for an hour at a time, and you meditate. And what that involves is just observing sensations throughout your body. So, and very specifically not reacting to them, like remaining completely equanimous and equal and non-preferential to what's going on in your body. So say you're sitting cross-legged and your legs start to ache, which they will after like 5 minutes less. Instead of just blindly reacting, because that's what we always do in life, is blindly react to everything that happens, you just remain aware and you don't react. And it's obviously very hard, but it's a technique you practice and you train your mind. So, we usually react in 2 ways to everything in life, with either aversion or craving. And those are the 2 things that Vipassana teaches exacerbates suffering. So if you are uncomfortable and you react with aversion, instead of just being like, okay, this is uncomfortable, you're like, oh, this is so uncomfortable, I can't bear it, I need to move, this is killing me, this is driving me mad, I hate this. And that aversion makes everything so much worse. So what Vipassana teaches you is, instead of reacting in that way, just notice what's going on and remain completely equal, non-preferential, objective, equanimous. Like, okay, I feel ache, but I'm not going to react. And conversely, the equal evil is craving, because that also causes suffering. So if you have a nice sensation in your body, like, oh, I have nothing, so pleasant because I'm so comfortable and this is so great and I hope it stays like this, and then it won't stay like this because everything's in a constant state of flux in nature, then you're disappointed when it goes away. So basically, it's a way of training your mind that everything is changing, everything's impermanent, and don't react to things, rather just remain more constant and equal. And it seems like a bit random, the technique, but it actually translates into real life because it's working on the same pathways and circuits in your brain, so that in real life situations, instead of reacting blindly and reacting out of aversion or craving, we need to act more equanimously. So if somebody makes us like upset, or somebody does something against us, normally say we'd react with anger. And then because we get so caught up in it, in this blind reaction, it's like we get so angry and overwhelmed by it and so full of hatred that the whole situation exacerbates with this aversion to the situation. Whereas if you can remain more neutral and objective and equanimous, it's actually far less sufferable. Do you know what I'm saying? And conversely, clinging and craving and being attached to things, it just increases your suffering, because everything in life, there's no exception to this, is impermanent. So if you're like, I need money to be happy, I need money to be happy, when you don't have money, then you're not happy. If you need certain people or certain things or situations or foods or whatever, or your phone, then like with that craving and attachment, you're just creating suffering. So basically, yeah, Vipassana is teaching you to try and avoid craving and aversion and react more neutrally and equanimously and peacefully and, yeah, compassionately and, yeah. Not really articulating this very well. It's very hard to explain. Basically, what I love about it is that there's no dogma involved. There's no sort of like, you don't have to believe anything weird and wonderful. It's kind of like the proofs in the pudding. They say to you many times throughout the course, don't take our word for this. Don't believe us in blind faith. It's like you experience it like on the actual level, like you actually see this going on, and that's how you learn, like what they keep saying, on the experiential level. Instead of like with other religions and so on, where you get told something and you need to believe it in blind faith. You just have to have faith, you know. It's like, don't have faith, don't take our word for it. See, if it works for you, then great, go for it. If it doesn't, leave it behind, it's chilled. And it really just does cultivate compassion and love and patience and so much tolerance. Yeah, so I'm kind of just done with dogma and the nastiness that can come with organized religion. Whereas this is like, it's totally secular. There's absolutely no religious belief involved. It's just a technique that can help alleviate suffering. And when you alleviate your own suffering, you can help alleviate other people's suffering. Because when you're miserable, you just make everyone else around you miserable. And it is so true. I know it for myself. Yeah, and when you're happy, you make other people happy. So it's really wonderful. I'm not doing it justice at all. I really recommend it. It's so hard, like I said. It was not easy. It was like the hardest thing I've ever done. I wanted to run away every single day and give up. I sometimes think it's so much easier just to go to church and pray, and like that's not very difficult. But this takes hard work. You're putting in the work to get the results. So, yeah, it's just like, I think if you're tired of, in order for religion to work, it requires usually the person needs to be indoctrinated, which is never really a good thing because then you're not really objective, right? And there's a lot of dogma, and I don't think that it's entirely always compassionate and loving and all-encompassing and universal. It's sort of like, well, our sect is better than your sect, and our beliefs are superior, and our path is right, and if you don't, follow our path, then oops, you're on the wrong path. Whereas this is like so non-sectarian that anyone can follow it. It's universal, no special beliefs required. It's just a technique that can change your life and really bring peace and compassion and alleviate suffering. But it's a hard path. It's not like the easy way out. It's not like asking, just being able to blindly pray and say, yo, do me this favor, man. It's like you put in the work, and what you put in, you get out. So yeah, that's why a lot of the time I wanted to run away, because it was hard work. But anyway, that was my experience. I will attach a link, and you can look on the Dharma website if you want more information. I don't know. It was really special and meaningful, and I don't know. I think we need more meaning in this world and more awareness, and people that who want to be good, moral people without needing like dogma and weird, wacky beliefs, and it's just so straightforward and pragmatic and logical, and that's what humans are. And so it's really easy to follow because you don't have to do anything in blind faith, and that's very necessary in 2016, Maybe in like 200 AD it wasn't, but this is like a pretty logical time. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for now. It was hard. Very relieved to be back, but it's integrating is going to be a bit tough. But yeah, I think the proof will be in the pudding. See if my behavior changes. See if I am a more compassionate person, more patient, tolerant. I feel like things hopefully will be a change for the better. So yeah.